Well, full fat, skim, light. What is your milk preference? And what are the experts saying is the healthier option for us? Health writer at The Australian, Natasha Robinson, joins me now to delve into this topic. Good morning to you, Natasha.
Good morning, Julie.
Natasha, you've written a piece why the science says full fat milk is the way to go for almost everyone. What have you uncovered here?
Yeah, look, there's just growing evidence around really the fact that there's really no reason to choose low-fat varieties of milk, yogurt or cheese if you don't have high cholesterol. There's even some sort of question around the effects if you do have high cholesterol, but just leaving that to one side, in terms of the science around full-fat dairy, many studies over the last decade or so have now firmly established that there is no link between the consumption of full-fat dairy and weight gain. So that's very heartening for people who enjoy the taste of full-fat milk and really don't like skim varieties, and that there is no reason from a kind of weight maintenance point of view to choose a lower fat variety. Now, the Heart Foundation did change its position on this issue a few years ago when they looked at this evidence, and they basically came out with a position statement saying, in terms of health and weight, look, there's no reason to choose low fat over full fat if you prefer full fat, but if you prefer low fat, that's a very healthy whole food as well. So their position really is, they're both great, choose one or the other, whatever you like, but they do say that if you've got high cholesterol, you may consider a low fat variety, because there is evidence that full fat, the saturated fat in full fat dairy, does increase the levels of that bad cholesterol, LDL. But the reason I say there's a bit of a jury out question on this is that there's also evidence to show that they actually increase the good fat lipids, the HDL as well, which then just sort of, they sweep it away. So, there's also some emerging evidence that Michael Mosley, the British doctor, has written a lot about, he firmly believes that the type of saturated fat in dairy, even though it is a saturated fat, may have a protective effect on the heart. So I think there's a lot that we don't know about the way that, saturated fat kind of behaves in the body according to its source. And I think, there's a lot of focus on this, but certainly if you do enjoy full fat milk, and particularly full fat yogurt, that's a really beneficial food. And also, there's this other theory that, if you eat those foods, they actually make you feel full, so you're less likely to go out and have a lot of snacks or choose unhealthy snacks throughout the day.
I don't know, I think I've tried that and it hasn't really worked in the past. But what are the sales telling us? Are consumers leaning one way more than the other? Are we starting to see that on the shelves?
Oh, we absolutely are. There's been, just a really, quite market increase in sales of full-fat milk, and the sales of low-fat milk have been dropping. That might have something to do with the fact that there's more sort of plant-based milks on the market, but I think people are hearing this evidence. Certainly, the Heart Foundation's a very sort of, respected organisation with a pretty wide reach, and if this message is getting through to doctors and dietitians, it is getting through to consumers as well, and people are choosing the whole fat milk on the shelves. But there's also sort of some, interesting, with that sort of trend towards going back to full fat, there's people who are quite enjoying other varieties of full fat. So the ones with the, more cream, the non-homogenised varieties with the cream on top, and even sort of single source origin milks are getting to be quite popular. So I think definitely people you're just appreciating the taste. If you do drink full fat milk and you try to go to especially skim, but even the reduced fat, I mean, it just kind of tastes a bit like water.
I was about to say, what's your preference? Because I think you made that nice and clear in the article too.
Yeah, look, I'm full fat all the way. Look, I did used to drink light white because that's what I grew up drinking with my family in its sort of heyday. But when I switched to full fat, the taste was so different. And my we've got this sort of posh little grocer in my suburb, and he sells this type of single origin milk. It is unbelievable. The taste is unbelievable. I could not believe when I tasted it the difference between the taste of that and just your normal milk. So yeah, that was quite a revelation, and now I sort of buy that whenever I can.
I've become one of those ridiculous almond people. We'll leave it there. Natasha, thank you so much for your time. It's always good to catch up.